Good day. I am Gindro Meyer of Agency Dobrak. Question for Minister Lavrov. Could you comment on attempts at peacemaking in Ukraine, taking account of the fact that both sides accuse each other of violating the ceasefire? Second question. What are the prospects for negotiations regarding the status of the Donetsk and Lugansk regions? Thank you. Lavrov, the ceasefire is generally being followed, although you are absolutely right that there are incidents of violation and that the parties blame each other. We know that, for example, from the militia. However, as a country which confirmed the agreement in Minsk on September 5th, we have serious concerns about the fact that yesterday there were reports of a concentration of heavy weapons in the area of Debaltseve, that is, weapons on the side of the Ukrainian security forces. Given all indications, it appears to us that the Ukrainian army is preparing some kind of shock troops. We brought this concern, as did the militias in Lugansk and Donetsk, to Kiev authorities. We were assured by them that there are no plans to disrupt the peace. But as I said, this will have to be checked. We will monitor the situation carefully. We are not interested in seeing anyone or anything try to prevent implementation of the Minsk agreements. Speaking about observation of the ceasefire, we rely on the opinion of the OSCE observers. They don't panic. They acknowledge that there are separate incidents from both sides, but, as a senior observer says in his recent interview, yesterday I think, such incidents are, unfortunately, common in the initial stage of a ceasefire. We hope that in the near future the ceasefire will become fully operative. Regarding the state of affairs in the southeast of the country, the agreement signed in Minsk envisage steps in this direction. We hope that there is an immediate start to implementation of the agreements. The framework for proceeding is clear to Ukraine's leaders and to the leaders of the Donetsk and Lugansk republics, who are signatories of the protocol in Minsk on September 5th. We will insist that the conditions of the protocol be respected. By the way, these provisions play a key role in the framework, and through agreement of both sides in this process, they must be, this work has already begun, spelled out in detail. Yet to be determined is the sequence of steps in the agreement. Speaking about the agreement that was formulated in principle in Minsk, the framework for proceeding requires that the so-called contact group be entrusted with the task of resolving the crisis in Ukraine. And let's not forget the Geneva Agreement of April 17th, where the task is clearly stated, I quote, "The immediate start of the process of constitutional reform, including national dialogue with all regions and all political forces of Ukraine." This process should be inclusive and open. Do not forget that constitutional reform has been pushed into the background. We don't know whether the Kiev authorities will return to that issue, although it was one of the promises made by the Ukrainian side in the agreement of February 21st, which was signed by Yatsenyuk, Tyakhtabuk, and Klitschko, together with the then president of the country, Yanukovych. Regarding this, the importance of the framework of the agreements made at the Minsk meeting, in no event may anyone forget the Ukrainian constitutional process. The Kiev authorities have the obligation to start on constitutional reform immediately. This was decided months ago. We will ensure that these obligations are fulfilled. You can't just write in the Western press that the Ukrainian authorities have carte blanche to take actions whenever they want many months into the future. while ignoring the fact that implementation of the agreements is one of the key prerequisites for the resolution of any conflict. Thank you. First of all, this is a ceasefire, not peace. This is the first step in order to silence the guns. The second step is to determine what forces have entered our territory. We still do not know exactly how many forces, how much equipment, and how many soldiers of the enemy have entered our territory. Thirdly, we have the opportunity to pull back our forces to be regrouped, re-provisioned, rearmed with weapons, then to return to the original borders.